How do good people end up getting hurt? Why do nice guys finish last? And why does being too nice ruin everything? Welcome to Pill for Philo, the place where philosophy resonates to solve everyday problems. If you think about it, these are all the same question. But before we get into the answer, let me ask you this. Have you ever been used by somebody who was so close to you? This could have been a friend, a family member, a significant other, even a co-worker. They might have taken your generosity, kindness, and thoughtfulness for granted. You wanted to help them out and thought nothing of it until they started taking advantage of you. You felt confused, maybe a little angry, because you didn't understand why they would treat you so badly when you were always there for them. It can be hard to understand why someone would act this way. They knew you had their back, but did they also have yours? Before we start the conversation, grab a pen and paper if you want to jot down valuable advice that I wish I knew before I turned 30. Also, consider subscribing to the channel for more philosophical content. Let's start with the paradox of being too nice. There's a common belief that being nice is always good. We're told to be nice to others from a young age. But have you ever noticed that those who seem to be the nicest are sometimes the ones who get taken advantage of the most? The weak obey because they cannot rule themselves. They are slaves to impulses, to the herd, to fear. But even those who claim mastery often falter. They command, but do not listen to their own will. True power lies in self-overcoming, in forging oneself anew through fire and struggle. To obey oneself is to transcend mere existence and create meaning. Only the one who embraces his own chaos and shapes it into strength is truly free. Will you command or merely follow? Now, don't get me wrong, being kind is a virtue. We should all strive to treat others with warmth and compassion. But sometimes being too nice can actually be harmful to ourselves and to those around us. Being too nice means saying yes to everything and everyone, even when we don't want to. It means putting other people's needs before our own every single time, no matter what. But here's the problem. When we do this, we're essentially telling them that we don't value our own needs or our own happiness. We're showing them that they can treat us however they want and that they can take advantage of us whenever they feel like it. That isn't really being nice. That's just being a doormat. People pleasers often struggle with setting boundaries, which can cause them to feel anxious or stressed in social situations. Without clear boundaries, we're constantly at risk of being taken advantage of or manipulated by those around us. For example, maybe you agree to take on more work than you can handle just because you don't want to disappoint your boss. Or maybe you put your own needs aside to cater to someone else's wants because you don't want to hurt their feelings. When we do this, we're essentially sacrificing our own needs and values for the sake of other people's approval. And over time, this can lead to feelings of resentment and exhaustion. One of the biggest problems with people-pleasing is that it often stems from a lack of self-respect. When we don't respect ourselves, it's hard to expect others to respect us. And when we don't set boundaries, we're sending the message that we don't value our own needs and that we're willing to be taken advantage of. When we're always trying to please other people, we're essentially sacrificing our own needs and values in order to gain their approval. But here's the thing. That kind of approval isn't worth much anyway. It's not genuine or authentic, and that's where the problem lies. So then what do we do instead? Well, the answer lies in finding a balance between being nice and standing up for ourselves. It's about being assertive and communicating our needs and boundaries in a respectful and confident manner. It's about building healthy relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. This doesn't mean that we shouldn't be kind or compassionate. Of course we should. It just means that we need to be willing to stand up for ourselves and set boundaries when necessary. Here are a few ways that you can learn to do just that. Number 1, set clear boundaries. Saying no can be difficult, especially if you're used to always saying yes. But it's important to remember that you don't need to feel guilty about putting your own needs first. When you say no to someone, it doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a person with boundaries, which is something to strive for. Number 2, be assertive. This means being able to communicate your needs and limits in a respectful and confident manner. It's not about being aggressive or demanding, but rather about expressing yourself in a clear and effective way. By learning to be assertive, you can ensure that your needs are met, while also respecting the needs of others. Remember, you deserve to be heard and respected just as much as anyone else. Number 3, believe in yourself. Self-confidence is key when it comes to setting boundaries and being assertive. When you believe in yourself and your own worth, you're more likely to stand up for yourself and communicate your needs effectively. So take some time to reflect on your own strengths and accomplishments. Remember all the things that you've achieved and the challenges you've overcome. When you start to believe in yourself, it'll be easier to stand up for yourself and set boundaries when necessary. Number 4, don't seek approval from others. This is a big one. When you're too focused on what other people think of you, it's easy to lose sight of your own needs and values. You might find yourself constantly trying to please others just so you could gain their approval. But here's the thing, that kind of approval isn't genuine or authentic. It's based on other people's opinions, and it's not something that you should rely on. Instead, focus on living according to your own values and being true to yourself. When you do this, you'll attract people who appreciate you for who you truly are, and you won't need to worry about gaining their approval. Being too nice isn't a bad thing, but it can become a problem when it starts to negatively affect our relationships, our mental health, and overall well-being. When we're too afraid to say no or stand up for ourselves, we're essentially allowing others to dictate how we live our lives. And that's not a place we want to be in. In conclusion, it's important to strike a balance between being nice and standing up for ourselves. By doing so, we can create healthier relationships, improve our mental health, and live a life that's true to ourselves. It's not always easy, but it's definitely worth it. By considering and applying what we talk about here, you will not only gain more respect and admiration from people, but you will also suffer less from things that do not depend on you and are not under your control. Now here's something I want you to do. Share this video with a friend. Let's spread awareness about the dangers of being too nice. But before you go, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you have any thoughts, comments, or suggestions, leave them down below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.